Nerd News Now. Hello, welcome to Nerd News Now. It's the week of August 23rd, 2021. I'm with Kyle, Brainy, Mischian. Everyone's here. Which is awesome.
Define
Kyle,
here,
within this realm of
because
Skype.
I am apparently in Space Jam.
Oh, you're in Space Jam right now?
Apparently,
Which
if the green
which
screen will
one?
work.
Oh, okay.
He does
The
look
second
goofy
one?
enough to be in there.
I did I did finish the second Space Jam. Yeah, I think once I got past the acting parts, it was fine.
Once you got past the writing and the animation and the acting and the soundtrack, it was okay.
I like the animation. I mean, I think that people are always going to have an affinity for classic animation, so anytime you upgrade it, it's going to be a problem or it can be a problem. We as a society have, I think, all have individual distinct views of what animation should look like. And sometimes you just have to roll with it, you know? Like She-Ra might be the greatest He-Man thing ever written, but people were so off put by the animation, they're like, no. but then it had to, went 5 seasons, and people were like, "Oh, okay, let me check this out now." Um, and then conversely, like the new He-Man looks like the old He-Man, but like better, but people don't like it. So it's just,
Well, it's because it's not He-Man, it's Masters of the Universe.
yeah, that's my argument. But it's just like arguing also doesn't work in this day and age. Like you can't argue. Yeah. So I mean, you can try for sure, but just not be successful.
Can anyone understand a word Miss Jen is saying?
No, I cannot hear you right now. No.
Will this mess everything up?
I think that Dalek is interfering with your reception. You might want to have to send that to me.
That would be an expensive ship.
You already have an expensive ship coming in right now.
That is true. You got some cool stuff, though, dude.
Yeah, my wallet's gonna kill me. Especially if when my wife finds out what I got, she'll kill me.
What's so funny is that, like, I just feel like everyone was like, "What just happened?" There was a strafing run on the original art.
I can't believe what's his name beat me on one of those.
It's okay. Katali just had a new baby, so you can be happy for him.
No, I'm too selfish to be happy for him.
Oh.
Like, congratulate him.
I'm having a Groundhog Day. Remember, like 3 weeks ago, we went on this long diatribe about cardboard cutouts and how they still exist. And I didn't know if that was this episode or what it was. What's going on? Maybe I'm in Space Jam right now.
Here, let me go back to the website and see what's in stock.
Miss Jen, we'll start with you. What have you been up to this past week?
Let's see. My dad got home from the hospital. My mom had her 75th birthday today. What else? I've had a crazy week in buying things on Saturday, despite the fact that I forgot to put up a notice that I was buying collections like I did the weekend before, in which no one brought me anything. I had 3 collections come in on Saturday. So most of my weekend was kind of like trying to figure out how to get it processed in time. Because as soon as people know that I've got new collections, they're like, it's blood in the water. Price of books, Miss Jen. I'm going to buy those things. So that's what I've been doing. It's been fun.
Do people just wait on you to get new collections and then strike? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. They're like, if you don't, I won't tell anyone if you won't, Miss Jen, if you let me in the box early. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know why I've got this real distinct sense that I have to have everyone have an equal opportunity to claim stuff now. Doesn't make any sense, right? It's sold, whether it goes that way or not. But I don't know. Somehow in my brain, I'm like, everyone has to be able to have a chance to call it because I've been doing live sales for so long.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I love the Thunderbolt original art.
Yeah. In which case I say, you still have to show up in the room and call it, but I'll let you know. Because Brainy already knew what it was. He just kind of like, he saw me pick up the art and he was like, claimed.
Can you divulge anything that you picked up?
Let me see. So the second half of the Tomball 90s comic book store came to me. So there's still more, because he only has a little truck, so he can only bring a little bit at a time. So it's more minty 90s keys and minor keys, which seem to be the thing right now.
Yeah, with all the stuff going on, it's a speculator heaven, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All the random characters they made coming to the small screen, and things like that, and just nostalgia.
I went the opposite direction with my weekend acquisition.
What'd you do?
I bought Pep 1 through 50.
Aww.
First Archie, cool. First Jughead, first Betty, first Veronica.
That's some get.
Where did you find that?
I knew a guy who had it, and I just texted him and said, "You want to sell them?" He
Okay.
said, "Yeah, I could use
Does
a
that
new."
work?
Well, he goes, "Yeah, I could use 4 new tires on my car." So I
Hey,
bought him 4
No.
tires in exchange for those comics.
No way. What? For the first appearance of Archie, what year is that from?
1940.
Well, that's got to be worth way more than 4 tires.
It's not. They're not in immaculate condition.
Oh, they're reader
They're-
copies?
Maybe
Okay.
they're rough, but I have them, and I got them at a price where I could flip them. Like where I could, if I wanted to sell them, I could make something on them. Like I'm not gonna get rich on them. I'm not gonna make a lot of money on them, but I could advance them a little bit. So I was happy.
I wonder what the heck else you could red paper clip for key collector comics like that.
I love doing that kind of stuff. That was one of my favorite things to do when I had this store. Was I'll trade you these 3 pop vinyls that you really want for just that one comic you have that I know is worth money that I can advance, or stuff like. I loved doing that kind of thing.
He misses retail.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a downside to retail though,
Yes.
which is all of it.
Which is the having to deal with people.
No, well, it's not just that. It's employees, customers, suppliers.
All those are
inventory.
people so far. All of the
Unfortunately.
first 3 of the 4 were people, just for the record.
And in the comic book industry, you add another 2 or 3 layers into it. Because you get the publishers, you've got the distributors in there, you've got individual suppliers and stuff, man. And we still keep doing it, right, Miss Jen?
I still have it deep in my bones. I every once in a while think about what it would be like to not come in the store and talk to people and sell things and try to figure out a way to do it better and faster and more efficiently and whatever. And I get like, the sweats. So I'm not ready.
Wait, you get the sweats from the customers or from the not having customers?
From thinking about not doing this every day. I'm not ready to even consider such a thing. My body just wakes up wanting to do this stuff, which is, I know, a sickness, but I need to probably go to some kind of therapy.
Well, what's interesting is like today I had one of those days where if I'd have had to go to the store, I would have hated it. I woke up with a migraine, and it used to be you just had to tough it out. You take a couple of Tylenol and just fight through your day, right? Because you can't not go to work. But today I got up, took a couple of Tylenol, and slept on the couch until 2 in the afternoon. Like, every hour or so I'd roll over and check my email and answer my emails and work on projects I was working on, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm back to sleep. I've really found the joy in not having to do it,
Mhm.
but still getting to be involved.
Yeah.
I was talking to some Comic-Con promoters yesterday and this afternoon and working with a new publisher contact that I have. And it's not nearly a new contact, it's somebody I haven't talked to in a while, and these kind of things. And so I still get to be involved in comic books, but I don't have to deal with people. Like in the sense that I do have to deal with people, but they can be through email.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should go work for Miss Jen and become a buyer for her. That'd be more fun.
I accept.
I'm working on a guy right now who has a 35-cent Star Wars #1 in really nice condition, and several other key Silver Age books I'm trying to pick up.
You have a few books that I want, so if you ever need the cash, let me know. I'll break into Miss Jen's bank. It's getting larger and larger every day.
If I manage to succeed at getting these books, I will let you guys have first dibs.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut down, man.
Yeah,
I'm
but
tough.
35-cent Star Wars #1 always a good investment.
Yeah. I actually had it in my possession. I don't know if I told you guys this. I bought a small collection from somebody, and they were a friend of the family. So I basically gave them a buyer's remorse clause. If you guys don't want it, Yeah. If you change your mind, let me know, and I'll be happy to return them. And next day they changed their mind and they took it back. I was like, and at that time they weren't worth, they were still worth money, but not what the price they're garnering now, which is obscene right now. So I made them a decent offer at that time. Of course, compared to now, I'm like, yeah, that was a low ball offer. If they were to come in today, they'd get a lot more. But that's neither here nor there, I guess.
My brain is broken. So Kyle, I just want to confirm this. Are you saying that you got first printings of PEP 1 through 50 and that includes PEP number 22?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you said you had to buy new tires for an entire used car sale lot because that's
No.
what that would be. I
No.
just did the math.
It wasn't. They were cheap tires. Like, they were name brand. I didn't buy them Chinese tires, but like.
Oh no, but that would have been 250 cars worth of tires for just that one issue.
Deal. But again, I don't know. I haven't gone through it really yet.
Oh.
I don't know how complete these books are. I don't, they're all rough. But now I have them, and it's in my collection, and I have them.
Yeah, as long as the covers are attached, books or staples are there. They're still pretty.
Right. But I don't know how many of them have tears. I don't know how many of them may be missing pages. I've not done the full research on it yet, but I know the number 1 is good. It's complete.
I love one. There's a CG Seed page of number 22, just the 10th page. It's $210.
What?
No lie.
Wait, what? Someone has just the page. Like, can you do that? You can grade a page?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But what is that grade? What is that page grade as? Like a 0.1 or?
Let me see. Let me go back to Best Match.
What's interesting is my X-Men number 4, and I thought it was in great condition. I never opened it or whatever. I sent it for CGC. It comes back at 0.5. Apparently, there's a page missing from there. And I'm like, what?
Well, clearly you should have just got the other pages graded by themselves.
Right.
So when that gets graded, they just put PG up there, which means page.
Page, yeah. It's just an authentic page. That's about it.
I've never seen one like that. Yeah.
So if I had to guess, Mark, I would say my number 22, just from looking at the photos, is somewhere between a 0.5 and a 1. It's in bad condition. I think $500 to $1,000 might be a reach on it.
That's great.
Well, that's a set of tires right there. So if that was the case, that'd be a good deal.
That was just over a tire and a half.
Oh, okay. Not even a set. Okay. I'm just I'm fascinated by people's ability to red paperclip. I can't do it. And I saw, so you're a TV guy. There's an episode of MASH that's built all around that. And I keep saying red paperclip because there was a news story like maybe 12 to 15 years ago or something like that where a guy had a red paperclip. Was it in Ohio? I might be making that part up.
I know the story you're talking about, though.
But he basically went, or Brainy and Miss Jen, are you familiar with the red paperclip?
Absolutely.
Okay. Where this guy basically just was like, I wonder what I can get for this. And he just kept trading his way up to a house. Now, what kind of house it was, I don't know, but I've always been fascinated by that because
There's a woman on TikTok who has been playing this game. She wanted to meet Celine Dion. And the goal was to trade up to a VIP experience at a Celine Dion concert in Vegas. Like, to start with nothing to trade up to that. It turns out she wound up trading into an original painting from a Canadian artist who Celine Dion collects. And wound up trading into meeting Celine Dion to give her this painting.
Nice.
That's
Now, did she know that that was the path that she was on? Was that
No,
like,
it just sort
no,
of
not at all.
fluke happened.
Well, that's cool how that happened then.
Yeah.
But so that's the real life story. But I remember probably seeing the episode of MASH 7 to 10 times somewhere within that, where they had to keep trading to get ice cream. I think it was ice cream.
I
Was like
remember
the thing they wanted.
the first time I ever did it successfully as a retailer, trading like random things for other things, is I had a guy come in with an ASM 300, and I didn't have enough cash to offer him, and I had a gift certificate for an oil change, and I offered him, an amount of cash plus a gift certificate for an oil change, and I had gotten the gift certificate for the oil change for free, so I was out nothing, and I was like, oh, okay. I can incentivize people with other things they need.
I think the
And so
craziest trade I've ever made was, you guys remember when I bought the storage locker to get the Toys R Us
Mhm.
bags?
Yeah.
In that locker was a whole bunch of Babies R Us furniture parts still in their boxes. So like the railings for it, or like the changing tabletop for a dresser. It was all this stuff. I was just waiting for a day when I could have a garage sale in the breezeway and get rid of all of it. And I went over to someone's house to look at a collection that they wanted to sell of toys and stuff. And I'm standing there talking to them. I'm telling them about this thing. They're like, as I walk through their garage, it's full of sealed furniture boxes. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Your whole house is full of sealed furniture boxes. They're like, that's the business we're getting into. And I was like, I have $250 in my car to buy these toys with, or I could give you $2,000 worth of Toys R Us or Babies R Us furniture. And they were like, in my mind, the furniture was worth none. I already got all my value out of the other things I got out of the locker. So that to me is like a win. When you find someone that needs something, you can make a lot of money out of it, and you don't need, you can get something you would much rather sell. That's a good trade.
I wouldn't survive in a zombie apocalypse. There's no way. I can't barter.
No,
No.
you just
No.
want to get rid of stuff, or
No, I mean, I just can't barter. I guess I don't have that ability to convince someone that they need what I have to the point of like getting a better deal in return than just cash or whatever. So, and like sometimes it works out, like in your example, I mean, you went in a room and saw a bunch of sealed furniture and were like, wait a minute. So, I mean, I would probably be able to put together something like that, but I wouldn't be able to trade in Goodyear tires for the first appearance of Archie Andrews. No way. I want to come see Kyle. The next time you have a table at a Comic-Con, I'm gonna fly out there. I want to see what that's like.
Mid-September.
Oh, for real? Okay, well, the next one, or maybe in a year.
Okay, Halloween weekend.
We'll see what happens with travel and the world by then.
It's true.
I think Texas is still gonna be around. We'll see. We'll make it. We'll be fine.
See, and what's funny is that the best luck I have doing that kind of swapping and red paperclip kind of stuff is when I'm trading for stuff that I want that I don't intend to sell.
Yeah.
Like, because all of a sudden it's okay, we're actually working on emotional value as opposed to actual dollar figure value.
yeah.
That sometimes just plays out better.
Do you think it keeps you more focused when you're dealing with something like that? Like you really want it, so you're gonna try every angle that you may not normally try, or just that's just how it is?
No, I think it has more to do with if people assign an emotional value to something, they assign an emotional value to something that's not negotiable.
Yeah, you can't talk your way through someone's like deep-seated desire to, their uncle told them that something was worth $10,000 that really is worth $100. You can't work through that emotional attachment to what their uncle said.
Right. Okay.
Right. So now it's instead of saying, okay, well, the dollar value of this thing is this, and you don't believe me, now we're at an impasse. It's okay. I get that what you have you feel is worth this. To me, that value is the same as the value on this thing. You know, I'll trade you this fantastic 4 graded comic for that laptop. Well, I need a
Okay,
laptop.
done. Deal.
But that's what I'm saying is it's the value you're placing on that laptop is equal to the value I place on this comic.
Right.
You know, or the value you place on a new set of tires on your car that is dangerously unsafe is equal to what I'm willing to pay for this collection of beat up old comics.
I think there's certain comics I would just give up my tires and become friendless on, and that would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably means I have a higher emotional value attached to certain comics than I do my feet, which wouldn't make it a mile, probably. I don't know how many feet, I don't know how many miles my feet could make if I replaced tires with my feet.
Huh?
Because cars are heavy.
His car was the Flintstones car.
I think it would be a Ford Escape. I don't think I would make it at all. I don't think I can move it 1 foot. I've watched The World's Strongest Man, but just because you've watched The World's Strongest Man doesn't mean you too can move cars by yourself.
You can. You just have to put them in neutral.
Maybe. I could probably make it a few feet. I don't know.
Says anyone who's ever run out of gas on the side of the road and had to push their car out of traffic. You can. You just got to get it into neutral first.
I don't know how I haven't done that yet. I got real close once. I've just lucked out, I guess. Because there was definitely a time where I was driving on a interstate where there wasn't going to be a gas station for 30 miles, and I had like 22 miles of gas left, but I made it somehow. I figured I would have done that by some point.
So I've got a story for you guys.
Okay.
Ever had this kind of experience before? It just tickled me. So this is the experience where you know the person that's called you on the phone that wants to sell you something already has in their head way too high a value on something. They haven't told you what the price is, but you can just tell from the discussion. Okay. So this morning before the store opened, someone called me and said that they had a bunch of Transformer figures that they wanted to sell me. And the place that they were going to take them to sell them. So they prefaced it by saying, I've shopped the collection around and I've got a couple offers on it, but I went to go to the store too, and they're not open. Like they're gone, like they're closed. So I'm like, I don't think to myself, when did this person give you this offer? So they're like, how much are you interested in buying them? And I'm already in my mind saying, I'm not going to buy this collection. Like, there's no way, because the guy's already got something big in his brain.
Tell him I'll give him a laptop.
There you go, laptop. That would have been a good trade, baby. So I say, I think I recommended another place for him to go and try to sell it. And he's like, you're not interested in it? Because I'm kind of near where you are. I'm like, well, it was a Transformers collection. And I said, well, is it boxed? And he says, no, it's loose and mint condition. And of course, in my brain, I'm thinking it might not even be vintage. It might just be recent ones. But I don't deal in loose right now. I don't have a way to display them. I'm so full on stuff. So I told him, I said, I'm not buying loose collections, but I'll take them in on consignment. And he goes, what does that mean? So I explained it to him. We do the 50-50 split, which I've been doing for, a decade or something, and no one ever blinks. And he just doesn't even say anything to me. He just says, what? No. And then starts talking to somebody else, like he forgot to actually hang up on me. And he's like, this MFR, there's no way. Keep my stuff and make me wait and only give me half. And so now that I'm hearing this, I'm like going, oh, he was definitely going to try to ask me for more than half on these items. So he's not interested in half in the long term either. But it was just funny. Went on a really long talk, and I could hear him talking to his girl. Just I said out loud, I'm like, I'm still on the phone.
I had a guy come in one time with a first Iron Man. I forget whatever Tales of Suspense first Iron Man, and it was beat. I mean, it was bad. It was a 2, maybe a 3, and I made him an offer of what I could afford to pay for it, and he goes, "I've gotten higher offers than that from other stores in town." Now, I know the other stores in town, and none of them buy. So he's lying to me.
Yeah.
And I go, I would run out my door right now, run to that other store, and get that money. And he goes, really? I go, absolutely. He goes, so you don't even want to try and beat them? I go, not if they're offering you more than I'm offering you, and it's another store in town. Oh, you should run over there and get it, because those guys don't actually buy comics. So if they're making you an offer, somebody's doing something out of character. You should take it. Oh, well. I meant out of town. Well, that isn't what you said. I go, so I'll give you exactly what I offered you, and you can walk away with some money in your pocket. Or you can drive to Detroit or Indianapolis or someplace else and try and find somebody who will pay you big money for that book. And he just got all angry at me and walked out. And 3 weeks later, he came back and took my offer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was gonna drive, but he needed a spare tire, and you're like, "Aha! Red paperclip." And that's where it all started. Spare
No,
tires
but-
for spare comics.
The end of the page on that was I traded that piece for a signed Bill Sienkiewicz Doctor Doom 1 in 1,000
Ooh.
because I couldn't move that piece, so I traded it for something I could move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. How so? I'm the one on the like the not that you guys don't buy stuff, but I'm just a buyer. Like I don't have the retail comic selling experience. In 2021, there's something, Miss Jen, that I immediately thought of when you were telling that story is like, it's 2021. So like this guy should have like a Microsoft like Excel spreadsheet with pictures attached, maybe an Instagram video or like just a Google Doc video that he could send you and immediately start. And then on the buying end, I'm wondering, do you guys ever do comps? Like, because if you had like a set percent, like I buy at this percentage of eBay comps, and my reasoning is this because there's no buyer fee, there's no shipping, there's no taxes, so I'm estimating that we're gonna take 17% off the comps from that. Like to me, I'm watching all these videos of sports card shows and dealers, and it's all about comps. It's like, what are the last 5 times this basketball card just sold? Here's the average. Okay, I'm gonna offer you 17% of that. Okay. Like, so is it that easy and people just make it difficult, or is there like is it just all gray area?
Brainy looks exhausted just thinking about it.
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting question.
Because I just think, especially with graded comics, it should be a no-brainer, right? Like, I can type in the exact comic, the exact grade, know that it's authentic. Here's the last 5 prices it sold for on eBay. Here's what the seller fee. Here's what they actually pocketed because of the fees and the taxes and the shipping and all that. So here's what I'm giving you.
The downfall of that is, and I'd add on the future things to it. One, would I anticipate the price to be in about 6 months?
Okay.
And what I've sold on equivalent type of books. CGC books don't sell too quickly for us. We sell a few, a handful at a time because we've got the higher end, just an example, Something is Killing Your Children, #1. We had it at $150 when it was going for about $150. It didn't sell until it started shooting up, and then somebody just came in and got lucky and bought it at $150. And but that sat around for 3 months for us when it didn't sell. that's 3 months worth of money that we could use to buy other stuff. So we also have to look at it from the perspective of opportunity cost. Could we sell more items using that money in a shorter run and cycle that money longer? So it's not just a comp. It's not where in the sports cards they're moving so fast that they can turn around and sell that sports card in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, because people are treating it like gold right now. So, and that's basically how the gold market works as well. They look at the current price, they look at the percentage rate of what they would cost for transaction fees, and that's how they do it. And that's basically how the graded sports cards are working. I don't feel we can do that in the comic book industry, especially not right now, because at least in my opinion, I think the market is too volatile right now. We see books going up and down every Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll see a spike. By Friday, Saturday, that spike might have dropped already. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Jen.
Well, I mean, it depends upon what kind of collection that's walking in. If someone brings you in a handful of keys or minor keys, those are easy enough to look on. There's apps out there that have kind of like the high-low, or eBay. You can look for comps.
Correct.
Because I don't like to just do pie in the sky guesses on stuff that I'm not super familiar with, because the prices change so fast right now. For big collections, I'll thumb through them. I'll eyeball what I think they're the books that are the money. I add that in my head, and that's the price point I'm thinking about for everything.
Correct.
And usually I'll let it, just like negotiation 101, you always ask the person who has the collection what they're interested in selling it for. For example, this weekend, one of the collections I bought was he just brought in this little, like one of those portfolios full of books. And I looked at them, and they were all really good books, beautiful condition. There were some minor keys in them. And I asked him, what are you interested in for price to sell these to me for? And he said, $25. I was like, absolutely not. I said, these are worth way more than that. Let me look them up real fast and I can give you a better deal on them. So I bought them for $75, which he used in store credit. So I paid really $37.50 for them, or thereabout. So I won't let someone lowball themselves. Like if they're like way off, I just can't sleep at night if that stuff goes down. So I'm not going to be that person that they say later on, man, she ripped me off. But if they say a reasonable price, my favorite thing is when the price I have in my head is the one they say out loud. And I'm like, we're perfect. Because I've had that happen a couple times recently. That I'm like, perfect. This person knows that I've got to make money, and they're not offended by such things. So that's comps, yes, but mostly you kind of just buy collections for the ones you can move quickly. Yep. And the rest of the stuff is going to be kind of a slog, but that's where you're going to make most of your profit anyway.
Yeah. I used to have a two-step method, which is basically what Brainy and Jen have just outlaid, and then I had a buy list. Mm-hmm. So if you bring me an ASM 300, this is the minimum I'm willing to pay for a good condition ASM 300.
Yeah.
If you bring me a beat up ASM 300, I'm going to pay less than that. And I would always, so the buy list always stipulated good or better quality. Mm-hmm. This is the minimum I will pay for these books. Because I knew if I paid $150 for a good condition ASM 300, I could make minimum $200 on the book.
Right.
And if you brought me a great condition, I'd pay a little bit more because I knew I could get a little bit more. So I always had a buy list of stuff that I was always buying. And at one point, that list was just this ridiculous murderer's row of Marvel keys. So it was first Deadpool, first Cable, ASM 300, just ridiculous stuff. And I realized what was happening is that people were keeping perfectly good books that I wanted and only bringing me this stuff that was on the buy list.
Yeah.
So I did away with the buy. What I wound up doing was saying, okay, this is my buy list, but I'm paying, if you bring me that plus other stuff, I'll give you a 10% bump for bringing me books from my buy list. So if you brought me 100 Spider-Man books that I was only going to pay $100 for, but one of them was ASM 300, so that's an additional 150. I'll give you an extra 10%, which isn't a lot of money. It's $2.50, but people would do, oh, the extra 10% if I bring him everything. Okay, great.
In fact, you reminded me of a collection I bought once. This is something Miss Jen was talking about. He came in with 10 boxes, and he says he's got a lot more. The 10 boxes, 2 of them had mold on them, on the boxes. And the other ones, there was water stains and nothing else. The books weren't that bad inside. They were sellable, but if you go to the back, towards the back of it, they were all crumped together, water crumping and everything. I told him, look, this is basically bulk comics. We'll buy the bulk comics. We buy them. We have price for bulk boxes. The rest of the collection he brought in, I would say about 70% of it was still in good condition. So it seemed like they were stacked somewhere and they had a water damage or whatever. And the first batch he brought in was the damaged stuff, and everything else he brought in. This was in his collection. He basically either got a locker or he bought an apartment or whatever, because he barely spoke English. So I told him, look, these could be worth more. If you want to, go for it. If not, this is our offer. He was happy to do it. Skimmed through it. I found a couple of keys that paid for the collection. Beyond that, we weren't able to sell most of the collection because it was just filled with stuff. They're dollar books and stuff, whatnot. But there were a few keys that made up for the collection. So when buying collections, you never know what you're getting, unless if you're actually going through the entire collection one by one.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't have time to do.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing to do when I would get stuff like that, because I would get that stuff on occasion, is pull the keys, pull the good stuff, but then just leave it outside. And what I did to get rid of books like that they're a little water damaged, or maybe a little moldy, they're stuff I can't regularly sell, I would sell them by weight to customers, $5 a pound.
Yeah.
And just set outside, have somebody set outside with a mail scale.
That's something I might do with the last collection I just bought. Same thing. We bought a small collection. They're like, I just want to get rid of it. And I looked through them like, man, I just felt bad for the family because it sounded like their father had passed away or whatnot. Or either that or he got kicked out of the house and they just wanted to get rid of the books. I felt bad, so I bought the collection. I'm every time I go to this, I'm like, I don't know why I bought this collection.
Mm-hmm.
We do emotional buys, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But hey, man, I just think to myself, if I was in their position and really in a bad spot, I would rather give them the money for the collection so they don't get desperate enough to do something super bad.
Yeah.
So I almost always, when they look like they're just like on their last, like they've been turned down and they're just you're gonna crush their spirit. I'm like, I'll figure out, like, I bought a collection 2 weeks ago that he basically said that his boyfriend died, and he was trying to make money to arrange for the funeral stuff. I was like, when you tell me what you want for this collection, and he said, and I just paid it to him. I was like, what you need is what I'm going to give you. It's just like, people are going through real crap right now, and if I can help them out, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I bought a collection one time, and the family was really cool about it because I had to string them along a little bit because I couldn't afford it at the time, but I wanted the collection. So I would buy 2 long boxes at a time every 2 weeks from them. And it took like 16 weeks to buy them all. And turns out the son had been collecting to start a store, got T-boned by a drunk driver and killed. And they're like, we just need these out of the house. I'm like, I will pay you whatever you're asking, but we can only do it 2 boxes at a time. Like, at this pace, they're like, that's great. We're good with it. But when I went to look at the collection the first time, I had a pretty good wad in my pocket, and I pulled a bunch of Mirage Ninja Turtle First Prints.
Wow.
And I go to this family, I go, look, in my pocket right now, I've got $3,500. Like, I'll give you this, but just know that these books are worth triple that. So you guys just keep them and part them out. And they're like, no, just take them. No, you don't understand. I go, so I paid I paid more per box than I would have liked to have paid per box
Yeah.
to give it back to them over time, and they never knew.
And that,
Brilliant.
I still think about that kid.
Man, that's the emotional side of collecting right there, for sure.
So, I know we've been talking for a while now, and I know Brainy said he's got a dip, and I'm at 17%. So, is there things we actually need to talk about?
Yeah, but we can let Brainy go.
yeah, guys, I
Right,
do
but, like,
You gotta
I'm
get
gonna
out of
have
here,
to go
dude.
too, like, because I'm gonna run
Okay.
out of charge.
I thought you meant like you like just emotionally or
No, my
food wise or
battery.
something. Oh,
My
battery.
battery's
Okay.
16%.
Yeah, we can make it 14 minutes, I bet. But we're gonna let Brainy go. Brainy, thank you for your insight as usual, and we'll see you next time.
sounds good. Take care.
Appreciate it.
Love to your family.
Yeah, I do want to talk about some news that consumed the world. Is everyone was super miffed, like, where's the Spider-Man trailer? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where? And then there was like this leak, and then people said it looked like Bigfoot and don't watch it. Well, it actually came out 5 minutes before the show started tonight.
No.
So I saw it. So the official link is up. Kyle just doesn't care. He cares way more about his phone battery than Spider-Man No Way Home. It's fine.
Well, I won't watch the trailer, which is the same thing I would say about the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Hashtag not my Spider-Man.
Oh, well. There you
Hey.
go.
I'm a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. First two Sam Raimi movies, the only ones that count.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, everyone assumes he's going to be in this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they. When somebody goes, "Hey, Tobey Maguire's in it," then I'll go see it.
Okay. All right. Well, the trailer doesn't dispose that quite yet, but Miss Jen, I know you've been selling comics live hours before we do this, so I'm assuming you haven't seen it yet. But out of Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and the Eternals, which one of those are you most excited for?
Honestly, I want to see. I'm the most excited to see the Eternals, just because I think it's going to expand my knowledge of a part of the Marvel universe that I've known nothing about.
Yeah, because like all the Jack Kirby Celestial stuff is wild.
Mhm.
And especially now, I am wondering if the MCU announcing the Eternals was the cause for New Gods to be canned by DC, because they're both Kirby, they're both like worlds that he created, they're both sort of like off-world crazy stuff. Even though the Eternals, they're on Earth, right? But you know, the
Right.
whole Celestials and gods and all that, and that would be unfortunate because the New Gods are awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I am wondering, like, is that why that movie got scrapped? Because that was like the DCU movie I was looking forward the most to. But I would say the same thing that you just said for the Eternals, but for Shang-Chi, because I know what I've seen all the covers. I know that he's been around since the 70s, and that he's been an integral part of some of the offshoot Avengers teams. So I'm interested in that whole thing and how they reincorporate, you know, the Ten Rings in kind of like a new stylistic way after the, some would say, maybe Mandarin debacle, maybe in Iron Man.
Have you seen the Rotten Tomatoes Shang-Chi stuff? By the way, they've changed the pronunciation of Shang-Chi,
Shang-Chi.
to Shang-Chi, which
Okay.
I do not like. So I appreciate that we're leaving it as Shang-Chi here.
Well,
Because
didn't
it's
know.
always been Shang-Chi and it shall always be. But it's gotten great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, everybody seems really high on it. That's the movie I'm most excited to see. But I think Eternals will do more for me as a nerd. If that makes any sense.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now, are you all already familiar with the Eternals?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm like Jen. It's one of those things I know about the Eternals, but I don't have a encyclopedic knowledge of the Eternals like I do about Spider-Man.
Everything I know about the Eternals, I learned from Dan Wickline.
Kind of, basically, yeah. What were he and I texting about? He and I were texting about something this weekend. Oh, I read an article on why the Ten Rings are maybe not everything they should have been, and how it had to do with stifling Jack Kirby's creative powers, and it was a whole big thing.
Oh.
Basically, going back to the Stan Jack feud, and it was really interesting. But Dan and I were talking about it. He's like, "Yeah, no, that's not a thing."
You know what would be funny is if in the multiverse kind of, or I don't know if it would be the Doctor Strange part or what they're going to put out there for Spider-Man, but wouldn't it be hilarious if there was another version of the Ben Kingsley Mandarin that comes back and actually is the Mandarin?
He's in the movie.
Please.
Well, Kyle, I'm gonna get you that confirmation of Tobey Maguire whenever I do. But I can tell you there is a Raimiverse character in the trailer.
Okay.
So.
And if it's anybody other than Bruce Campbell as Ash, we've missed an entire trick that we should have taken.
Oh man, that would be a whole nother thing.
All hail the chin.
That would, yeah, if they were to somehow start putting other franchises in this multiverse, that would be nuts. Now, Kyle, do you need to go, or are you gonna just ride this out with your phone?
I have 10% on my laptop. So
well, we
I'm
got
here
10
until
we
the
got 10
laptop
minutes.
dies.
All right, so we got 10 minutes, so let's just go ahead and let's go to comics. Let's just go to comics. There's lots of stuff that happened, but we were already in this like collector retailer mode.
Mhm.
So we'll just go to comics. So I actually have a list of some stuff coming out, and believe it or not, I have an opinion on one of the comics coming out,
What?
which I almost never do.
Is it Lesser of Lesser Gods?
No, it's something very 80s.
Ooh, okay.
Zorro?
And it's one of these comics, and I'm assuming you guys know about this, but you may not, because it's probably not something that was available on your order list or whatever. But the variants for this series are going to be packaged with action figures. So I mean, they're going to be like $40 or more just for a normal person to get them.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
So it's definitely Zorro.
No, what is that?
There's a Zorro comic coming out this week, so.
Oh, okay. No, this is Transformers Shattered Glass.
Oh, okay.
And Hasbro Pulse has created action figures for 5 of the characters, and conveniently, it's a 5-issue miniseries, so these HasbroPulse.com variants exist within backing of each of these characters. So, but I'm intrigued by that idea. Where, what if the Autobots were Decepticons and vice versa? So Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are the bad guys, and Megatron's the leader of the good guys. And this was a concept that was first done like in 2008 at a Transformers convention. I think just someone, because they've always been artistic with the figures and like just mock them up, different paint schemes and things. And then we've seen in the Netflix series where Mirage was like, because he's an Autobot spy, obviously, he was posing as a Decepticon, but I've never seen it like this. There was rumors of a Shattered Glass animated episode in the for season 4 of the most current Transformers series that was canceled, but this is the first time it's going to be in full-blown comic book form. So that's my 2 cents for comics for this week. But other than that, we have Detective Comics 1042, Amazing Spider-Man 72. We've got Something is Killing the Children number 19, which just continues to be red hot, right?
Yep.
We have Department of Truth number 12, which is also red hot. And I'll let you guys throw out anything else to keep an eye out on this week.
So for me, it's Suicide Junkies from Source Point, which is going to be super fun. And then from Albatross Funny Books, Lester of Lesser Gods, which is Matt Cushing, Lucky Yates, Eric Powell. Which will be that book will be stupid in the best possible way. And then a book that I normally wouldn't buy because of where it comes from, but Crisis on Infinite Quarantine from Aardvark.
Yep.
You gotta have it. Like, it just, if you don't buy it, you're missing out on all the jokes. Those are the number ones for me. Batman Reptilian 3. Broken Gargoyles, Sin and Virtue 3. Cherry Blackbird 2. Dark Blood 2. Some of that kind of stuff. My week is weird.
It's good stuff, man.
Icon and Rocket, by the way. Just don't miss out on Icon and Rocket.
Nope. I'm excited for the Spacecraft Smithsonian coloring book myself.
What is that?
So the Smithsonian has been putting out a series of coloring books. They did dinosaurs, aircraft. I can't remember. There's at least 3 of them that are out there, and this one's spacecraft. So they're really nice. They like have coloring side, but then on the facing page it tells you all about that thing. So you learn stuff too and get smart.
I finally get to read Frank at Home on the Farm.
You've never read it before?
Well, I read the first issue and was like, nope, I need this as a trade because I wasn't going to be able to wait for the second issue. So the trade for that comes out this week.
It is one of those books that just messes you all the way up.
I wanted to be able to binge it.
Oh, and I also left out Ice Cream Man number 25.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, there's King Spawn's probably going to be the one that's going to have the most people, just random people coming to the store, I'm guessing.
Now, what is King Spawn? How is that different than Spawn?
So
he's royalty.
He's
married queen.
So
Elizabeth?
For the Spawn universe, they've got 3 new books, and that's one of them. We haven't seen the team book yet, but.
Oh, okay. There are a lot of comics every week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like on average, Miss Jen, on average, how many comic issues are on that order form that you fill out? I mean, to choose from. Is it got to be like 50 plus or what?
I don't. It's a difficult thing because I don't do the entire form, so I stop when I get to where the